Coach, obviously, the last drive there, 2nd and 4, throw it down the field, 3rd and 4, throw it down the field, and then 4th down across them. Was there any thought maybe going short there, just picking up a 1st down?
Both plays had a short route they were covered. So we have an intermediate route after that and then a deep ball. And that's what was there, so that's what he threw. He's doing what he's coached to do. And, we thought we had a scheme there on 4th down where we get a short route open, and we didn't get to it. So we threw the intermediate route on the crosser. That's kind of what happened on those two plays.
Hey, Phil, Matt was saying that Jordan might be kind of limited this week. He'll play Saturday, but given Corral's getting a lot of the snaps this week, where is he in terms of his overall development? And then the fact that Jordan might be going in not 100%, does that change maybe what you try to do with Matt over the course of the week?
No, not there. One, I don't think Jordan is even in question for Saturday's game. It's more precautionary than anything. He's a little sore more than he is injured, so we're just going to be smart with him and give him a little bit of rest on Tuesday, and that also gives us an opportunity to rep Jason Pellerin and Matt Corral. Whereas Matt developmentally, you guys know this from last year, he has had just as many reps as Jordan this year. The 1s and 2s get equal reps. I think he has full command of the offense in terms of the knowledge. And his only real action in real time back earlier in the season, he handled it very well. So if we were to have to go to Matt Corral, I'm very confident in having him run the offense.
After getting the weekend to look at the film, is there anything you could pinpoint that slows y'all down there in the 4th quarter to only kind of get 18 yards?
Truthfully, I think we're in a more predictable situation the second half of the 4th quarter. And the truth is, Jordan, the quarterback situation there kind of blew our rhythm, and we had a rhythm for 3.5 quarters. And it's not like anybody did anything wrong. He got lumped up in one drive, and so Matt got thrown into the fire right away. And then Pat Jernigan did a good job, as I said, of taping him up and prepping him. And they ran him around to see if he was okay. One drive, he felt like he couldn't go. That's why we went with Matt. He felt like he could come back, so we went with him. And but I just think changing there and him having been hurt for a little bit definitely affected some rhythm on offense, although I don't say that to place blame. What I'm saying is I just think we have a starting quarterback who's on a roll, and we're going 4 quarters, and he comes out and you got to change, and it was a bit of an adjustment for us.
Breakout game for Elijah with Metcalf out these last few games. Has he kind of solidified a role moving forward?
I think Elijah solidified a place here weeks ago. It's hard though to replace A.J. Brown. That's who he's playing behind. You've got DeMarcus Lodge, and you have D.K. Metcalf, and you have A.J., and we're primarily an 11 personnel team, and so Elijah has spelled A.J. throughout the season. It's like I remember when Coach Kingsbury got asked about Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes. It's like, well, who do you play and who do you put in and who do you let go? It's tough. You've got 2 really, really good players. And we do miss DK right now, but the one thing that space is affording us is it's affording Elijah an opportunity. And so we moved A.J. outside to replace D.K. Metcalf, as you saw on Saturday, and Elijah was able to approach this week as an every down starter, and I thought he handled it very well, and I think you'll see him play well throughout the rest of the season.
Is A.J. going to continue to play more outside?
Yeah, I think you'll see A.J. both spots. Yeah.
What did you think of A.J.'s matchups and just being outside and how he was covered and that sort of thing?
I thought A.J. handled it well. It's 2 distinctly different positions in our offense, and he's been at slot. The last time he ran at wideout was spring ball 2 years ago, and then we moved him to slot, and he's been there ever since. So it was an adjustment, just mentally, just getting it down, but I thought he handled it well, and I think he's going to be a matchup issue for us out there, for the next, for the remainder of the season when he's there. You know, he made some plays when we had some matchups on Saturday, and, you know, I think that'll continue to be the plan for us.
Matt said he thinks Braylon's going to be a game time decision for Saturday. How do you plan for maybe having Braylon, maybe not? What's the approach with that?
Well, I hope we have Braylon. He provides us with some depth, and he's a very good football player. So, you know, right now it's a day-by-day thing. Have to see Pat Jernigan, but we are hopeful that he'll be back on Saturday. I think right now that's the feeling, but, you know, I have to see Pat and see how treatment goes over the next 2 or 3 days.
Texas A&M is also coming off a pretty tough, close loss at Auburn. How do you feel like you guys can attack their defense after they played a pretty fair game against Auburn?
You know, this is, you know, I can't remember the statistics, but they have more rushing attempts than they do rushing yards from the game, Auburn did. And they found a way to win it anyway. But my point is Texas A&M does a tremendous job of defending the run game. They constrict the box. Backers are physical, play downhill. 2 tackles inside, do a really, really good job. They control their space a little bit more like Alabama does. DNs do a good job of constricting and attacking things. They're not necessarily a penetrating defense as much as, say, LSU or, you know, what some of the D linemen at South Carolina did last week. But it's a challenge now. I mean, they've done a great job, even against better running teams like Mississippi State, of really defending the run and forcing teams to have to throw the ball a little bit. So our challenge is we're not going to go away from running the football. You know, we want to run the football. We think that's important. Obviously, being balanced is also important, but we're going to attack A&M the way we try to attack everybody. And I thought we got better physicality-wise in the South Carolina game, and we're going to try to continue that trend this week.
Coach, when Matt Corral came in there, you're up 3. Your running game is really working well. You throw it down the field, and then they gear up. It looked like for the run because it was almost intercepted it, and then we ran it right in the teeth. Do you wish you had those 2 plays over?
No, I mean, I study the defense. I have a plan for each situation. I like what we called. I think it's easy on Monday to look back at some plays and second guess what you do, but we put a lot of time and energy into the plan, and I had confidence in it. That's why I called those plays. And so, you know, Matt did what I called, and he ran what I called. And if we got back into that situation, any game situation, I'm going to call what we make educated decisions about during the week. And very rarely do I go off the game plan. We're making educated decisions during the game, or educated calls during the game that are based on decisions we make when we have time to think about them. You know, and in the fourth quarter, the plays I called were the plays that we liked against those guys. They didn't fall our way. That's not the quarterback's fault. If anybody is at blame, it's me. But I don't feel like I'm second guessing myself with the calls. I wish we hit them, but we didn't, and that's why we didn't get it done in the fourth.
Was it more on the first play there with Matt throwing it down the field? You were thinking that they would be expecting something safe or run, and you'd catch them by surprise throwing it down the field?
Well, we had a matchup. You know, we had a matchup. I mean, the free safety can only play one side or the other, and you know, we had 2 deep balls there, and we took a shot at one of them and didn't hit it. But no, I don't regret the call. It was an attack mindset. We wanted to get after South Carolina. We're going to continue to do the same things that we did all game that were successful, and that play didn't fall our way. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't regret the call. No.
Coach, the one pass that Matt threw to the I think it wasn't a tackle eligible because he had 93 on, but Jason Pellerin was just so open in the other corner, not Matt, but Jordan. Did Jordan just not see him at all on that particular play?
Tell me what you said again. I'm sorry, I missed you.
I think he had the tackle in there in the 93 number.
Yeah.
And we threw a tackle.
Oh, you're talking about the tackle eligible?
Yeah, tackle eligible.
Sure.
So, but we had Jason Pellerin, who number 7, in the other corner of the end zone, and nobody around him. I didn't know if that was the first option or the tackle was the first option. You remember that?
Yeah, the O-line throw that's the only. It's an all or nothing play. You know, the tackle eligible in the end zone you're talking about? That's what I was talking about. Yeah, there's no second look. There's no. Yeah, that what I'm saying is that's not even part of the play. We're trying to hide that tackle and pop him out and get the throw. There's no read or progression on that. Has nothing to do with the play. Yeah. Yeah, him being open, I didn't even notice that, but you could probably run that thing 10 more times and he wouldn't be. That's not something that's supposed to happen. The design of the play is to hide the tackle. We did that. We got him out, and you know, we didn't quite get the ball there. 35 kind of snuck underneath it and got there in time and made a decent football play. It is what it is. So, you know, we knew that's an all or nothing deal. Just like when you throw a screen, you're going to get tackled behind the line of scrimmage or you're going to pop one. And you just have to know that about some of those game plan plays.